Spread each lift as close as you can to the correct depth and grade. Then compact it. Start around the perimeter and then work your way towards center. You should go over each layer at least twice in perpendicular directions. And it should be completely compacted while it has the right moisture content. Don't spread it if it's going to rain before compaction. And during compaction, if lots of moisture comes up or if the compactor plate burps, there's too much moisture in the base material. It will need to be left to dry out a bit before it can be compacted. For areas that you can't reach with a compactor, use a jumping jack tamper or a hand tamper. Make sure that you get into corners and along foundation walls. These are areas where settlement is most likely to occur. Each layer should be uniform and to grade, but don't spend too much time on the lower layers. They don't have to be as precise as the finished layer. Compact each layer completely before you add to the next. When you install and compact the finished layer, make sure the depth and grade are right where they need to be. This determines the shape of the finished pavement. There are a number of ways to test the density of the compacted base. One simple field test includes driving a loaded truck or heavy piece of equipment on the base. If the tires make a permanent indentation, the base has not been compacted enough. If you can drive a 3/8 inch or 10 millimeter spike into it with less than a 3-pound hammer, it's too soft. If you need at least a 3-pound hammer to drive the spike, the base is compacted enough. The most reliable method for testing base compaction is with a nuclear density gauge, the same piece of equipment recommended for measuring the density of compacted soil. The nuclear density gauge measures density and moisture content of the base. Hiring a lab technician who will take nuclear density measurements of the base material during compaction is cheap insurance for you. This investment reduces the chance of settlement and an expensive callback. Proctor density is defined in the section on soils, and the same test methods apply to base materials. Base should have a minimum density of 95% of standard Proctor density for pedestrian areas and 95% modified Proctor density for vehicular applications. Achieving these levels of compaction will help ensure that the pavement you build will take loads and remain stable under freeze-thaw conditions. A well-compacted base is essential to the long-term performance of any project. It is the foundation for the pavers and bedding sand. It must be at proper grade and uniform thickness.